Phil now is all in, and Thomas called. Phil have 2 jacks, Thomas have pair of aces. The board is 6, 8, deuce. There is a 5. Phil has to get a jack. Go ahead. 9 of spades. Thomas wins the pot. Phil will be our 18th for his citizen.
6-9 fucking beats me, right? Supposed to be going 3 hours ago. He's been over 6 times with the worst man.
It's too bad, Phil.
Well, you had the best hand against me, son.
You think?
Promise.
It's the only thing I went to do this tournament last time.
What? Really?
Yeah.
We are here in the Fontana Lounge at the Bellagio for the 5-Star Poker Classic. Phil Hellmuth was just eliminated from the event. Phil, tell me about how today went for you.
Well, I mean, it was a really tough day. I picked up 2 kings and I trapped a guy with ace-7 of spades, and he made a flush on the river. I trapped Kirk. Otherwise, I have 3 million. And I'm listening to the hands, and this Wahlroos guy's on with 9-6 of hearts. How did he get involved in this hand? You know, and so I know that he's just incredibly reckless. I know, and I've heard stories. He's on like 6 times with the worst hand. And so I just figure he's going to go crazy against me.
So what was that last hand?
But he did have me. He had me fair and square. He had aces and I had jacks, and I didn't see it. You know, I mean, I didn't see it. He had the best hand against me. You got to give him credit for that. So.
Well, thank you very much, Phil.
I will say this: in 5 days, that was the first time I was all in.
Really? That was the first time you pushed all your chips in?
Yeah, I was never close to all in 5 days. It's the first time, and it's frustrating. You know, I mean, I played so far above the rim, but what can you do?
Tell me about the elimination of Phil.
I have some history with Phil. Basically, every time I see him, I needle him, and he doesn't really like me. And I knew that basically if I get a big hand, I'll be able to bust him because he always thinks I'm bluffing. And finally, like, he opens for 90,000, I have aces, make it 230, and try to look like sort of semi-nervous that he was going to think I'm bluffing or something. And then he calls, flop comes, actually he had jacks, not 9, sorry, he had jacks. Flop comes 9 high, he checks in the dark. I bet like half that pot to make it look like a steal with ace king or something. He moves all in, I insta-call with aces. And like, that's pretty much it. But it's pretty bad because like I overheard him after the interview, like, you know, explaining like, you know, this fucking Thomas Wahlroos kid, like, you know, he was in there with 9-6 and like this kid should be gone like 3 hours ago or something like that. But I mean, it's not true. I mean, he also told that I was like all in 6 times with the worst hand. Not true. I've been once in this entire 5-day event all in with the worst hand, and I got priced in. So like, I don't really like sort of Phil's way of putting this. I mean, it's a shame to be knocked out, but bad-mouthing me afterwards, like, it's not so gentlemanish of him.
He actually took it pretty well for Phil, though. I mean, did you expect it to be worse?
Well, I mean, like, usually he goes on, like, bigger steamers louder if somebody sort of sucks out on him. But here, you know, basically, he was outplayed, and he had the worst hand. So basically, he couldn't really get too steamed up because he just, you know, played bad. It's not my fault.
So how does it feel to have Phil's chips now? You happy about it?
I don't really sort of mind having Phil's chips. I just want to have like some chips, and I have enough to sort of make me happy. But of course, like with Phil's and my history, it feels kind of good to knock him out.
So do you feel it's an insult when he got up and said, "Good hand, son," emphasizing the son as if you're a younger player? Did you take that to heart?
No, I mean, like, Phil probably thinks I'm like 21, 22, I'm actually 27, but I don't mind too much about that. I mean, Phil's been around for a long time. I'm only playing tournaments for like 16, 18 months, so I understand that he thinks Scandinavia is always bluffing him, trying to outplay him and stuff like that. I mean, that's just his sort of view on life. I don't care, but I mean, obviously it works to my advantage if I pick up a big hand, because, you know, I knew he's going to at some point think I'm going to try to steal a pot from him and then play back at me, so.
Perfect time to have aces. Thank you very much, Thomas.
Thanks.
Lizzie Harrison with Thomas Wahlroos for Card Player TV.